What is up, Bulldog Nation? Matt and Micah are back again this week. We're actually one day later than we normally put out our podcast. We're on Sunday rather than Saturday. Our guest this week is, we had just some scheduling conflicts and trying to get it all worked out. We've got it worked out now. We're just a little bit, we're one day later, no big deal. This is episode 77 of season 2, episode 35 of season 2. Micah, you
Me,
are, yeah.
Micah Harris.
We've introduced ourselves. I'm Matt Tanner. So we get that part out of the way. Yeah, we are churning quickly toward episode 100. And like I said, we've got the next several weeks scheduled out. Looking forward to all of them. And this week we've got somebody that's not necessarily part of Bulldog Nation, but he's part of the story of Bulldog Nation, right?
He is. He's definitely a part of Southeast Missouri.
Exactly. Well, before we get too far, Micah, let's pay a few bills. I would like to give a shout out this week to our partners. First up on the list is Mercy Phoenix, Mr. Jody Cheney, Tucker Cheney, and their family for their Mercy Phoenix is healthcare staffing, and not just for EMTs and EMS. Their RNs, I think you saw this week, you and I talked about it. They have a post out that they're looking for some RNs as well for some traveling jobs and things like that. And I think that was Illinois, if I'm not mistaken, but it's out there. I shared it on my personal Facebook post, and I may have shared it on the Doghouse social media on Facebook as well. If that's something that you're interested in, looking for a job, they're very lucrative positions. I don't know all the details, but they have high-paying jobs along with stipends and housing allowances and things like that as well. So that's something you're interested in, please reach out to them, mercyphoenix.com. And Mercy is spelled with an I, M-E-R-C-I. Also, our next partner is Green Grass Guys, Mr. David Bizzle, Mr. D. Bizzle. They are your turf management specialist, and they are, as I say sometimes, Micah, if I go get my hair cut, they always, the barber or the beautician or whatever, they always tell me they're not a magician, but because they don't have much to work with when it comes to me. But with Green Grass Guys, they are a magician. They will get your lawn looking unbelievable. And we are proud to partner with them as well. Proud to partner with Mercy Phoenix. Reach out to D or David Bizzle and their team, and they will get you hooked up. It's very affordable for their services, and they can do just a whole host of things, as well as now they're doing some mosquito, I don't know if you call it eradication, maybe mosquito. Yeah. I was going to say maybe they can treat it. They're probably not getting rid of them because I don't know that you could do that here in Southeast Missouri. But anyway, we're blessed and honored to be partners with those two businesses. Moving on to some shout outs, give a shout out to Luke. Again, my son this week, he's had another week off. He doesn't have to do any of the audiovisual stuff because we're doing this.
He probably likes Riverside.
He does. He doesn't have to do any audiovisual stuff. It comes kind of in a can, so to speak, with our service that we use through Riverside to do some of these things virtual. Our guest this week, Mr. Chad Allen, lives in Dexter. He's got a super busy schedule, and he thought it'd be better for him to do this virtually. So we've got an option, so it's not a problem. Shout out to Erin, my wife. I think she went swimming next door, so she's out of.
Probably joined herself.
Oh, she has. She did. She absolutely is. She'll go over there and get in the pool and spend some time with her friends. Shout out to Justin, my brother, Micah's brother-in-law, our general counsel. He's there to help us with some technical things and our business needs as well. Give a shout out to Mr. Tucker Cheney for his help with editing our YouTube videos. He has been very, very helpful for me. Derek James, Brian James for their lore, sports information, knowledge, history, stats, behind the scenes things that we get a look into that we're able to share. And certainly last but not least, Tyler Anderson, Twisted Arrow Woodworking. Next week, you'll see our cool sign on the wall. But Tyler has created a really cool doghouse sign for us, and we have it on the wall, and we're proud to share that. Micah, got some shout outs?
My wife.
Yep.
Appreciate her allowing me to do this time. She actually just cooked me a good old chicken pot pie, like homemade chicken pot pie.
That's what
Had
I'm
that for
talking
lunch.
about.
I'm all full now and ready to. Hopefully, I don't fall asleep on us.
I was just thinking that. As long as you don't fall asleep, we'll be good.
Got all carved up.
Exactly. Please like, share, follow, review, comment. I'm trying to think other things that you can do. Anything you could do to help us on reply, on our Facebook page, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Please go like and follow those, review them. We would very much appreciate it. We appreciate your time. Thank you for taking a minute to listen. I say more a minute. Most of these are an hour and a half to 2 hours, so it is a little bit of you have to take some time. And I enjoy listening to other podcasts. I listen to a lot of them, especially when I'm driving. That rather than listen to, I suppose, mindless music, but I'll listen to a podcast, find a good guest, find a good show. And we've got on our website, thedoghouse.buzzsprout.com, we have some links to some other podcasts that Micah and I like that we've shared on there. A few are, the Sean Ryan Show, Joe Rogan. You put Power Mizzou on there. We've got some others that we like, and so that we recommend. I'm sorry, Locked on Mizzou. I said Power Mizzou. That's right. Thank you, Micah.
I like Power Mizzou too, though.
Yeah. And so, listen, it's a new way to receive information now, and we are proud just to be part of this galaxy, I suppose, because there are just oodles of.
I've been listening to the Consumers it's on Nate Land podcast. Nate Borgeski.
Oh yeah.
Like they got a couple comedians on there that do a weekly podcast on consumer products. It's pretty funny. I mean, like
okay. I'll go mark it on there. I'll go back on the website and redo it. Add that to it. And you can catch our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Player FM. There's a whole just a plethora of ways that you can catch our podcast. You can also catch our podcast again on our website, thedoghouse.buzzsprout.com. There's an embedded player on there, and you can go listen to them all. Today's on back, and we encourage you to do that. And if you want to email us, you can email us at doghouse.sykeston@gmail.com. They will come to me. I'll be happy to reply to you. Again, if you're interested in partnering with us, give us a shout. We'll be happy to see if we can work out something. We also have another another partner that we can also mention real quick, the Bunker Golf 365. It's actually located in the same strip center where Buffalo Wild Wings is, kind of behind the bank where I work, First State Community Bank. They're a partner with us, and they have a really cool setup. Go in there and hit golf balls. They have two areas where you can hit, 2 TrackMan machines. And if you know anything about golf, TrackMan is the premier way to measure your golf ball, how fast, how far it goes, how far it rolls, speed off the club face, spin. There's hundreds of sets of data points that it'll give you that will help you with your game. Mike, I'm looking forward to our guest this week, Mr. Chad Allen, current head basketball coach at Dexter. Slowly becoming a rival with us a little bit in the CMO conference. Yeah. Fortunately, they're not in
our. They played as well as anybody last year.
You're absolutely right. Other than the games that we lost, obviously, but no, they played us tight in 2 really good games in the CMO conference finals.
And it wasn't that old Dexter slow it down.
Mm-mm.
I mean, like they play that pace, but I mean, like they also move it a little bit. So
yes,
kind of interesting to see where he's taken them from a few years in the past few years.
Yes,
he's been about 5 years now, 5-6 years. He's been.
Boy, Micah, that's a good question. We can ask him that. I can't recall specifically, but he was the girls' coach for several years and had a lot of success there. Made it to a couple of Final Fours, I believe. Last year, took the boys. They were in the Quarterfinals. I think they got beat in the quarters last year. They've got a good group coming back. You know, they lost some kids, but they got the Ibrahim, however you say that. They got him. They got the Geatley kid that can really shoot. The Nichols kid that will be a sophomore that is going to be a player, or it is a player. It's going to be a player. And I read an article on SEMO Ball a couple of weeks ago talking about his team, but we'll ask him about his team in specifically. And so anyway, looking forward to that. Just stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick break, and we'll get on to our guest, Mr. Chad Allen. Thanks for sticking with us through that short break. We're now going to move on to our guest. Our guest today has spent a lifetime around the game of basketball, first as a player, now as a coach, educator, and leader. Chad Allen began his college career at Three Rivers before moving on to play Division I basketball for the Memphis Tigers. Since then, he has built an impressive coaching career, leading both boys and girls programs and earning recognition as one of the top coaches in the state. Today, he serves as the head boys basketball coach at Dexter High School, where he continues to develop players, build a program, and compete at a high level. He is also the director of the Rib City Shootout, one of the region's biggest summer basketball events, bringing teams, coaches, and players together from across the area. We're going to talk about his playing days, the lessons he carried from Three Rivers and Memphis, his transition into coaching, building a winning culture, and how the game of basketball has changed over the years. Settle in and help us welcome Bearcats head coach Chad Allen to the Doghouse.
Welcome to the Doghouse.
Welcome to the Doghouse.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's just what you wanted to hear, right? You probably at the Doghouse all the time if you're like us. Your wife sends you there a lot, but
oh yeah.
This one won't be as bad, hopefully. I was talking to Coach a few weeks ago, Micah, and Micah's brother-in-law, and by the way, Micah is my brother-in-law, so we've kind of got some family stuff going on here. My brother attended university in Memphis, but when you were there, was it still Memphis State?
Memphis State. It was Memphis State.
Yeah, when I was there, it was the first year it changed from Memphis State to University of Memphis. So, yeah, I got there at the transition, and which was pretty nice because I ended up getting some of the old basketball chairs that they had there in the pyramid, and so I got 4 of those in my basement right now.
That's cool. That's really cool. That they say Memphis State, I assume then.
Yeah, they say Memphis State. So, but yeah, it's it's pretty neat, and even Penny Hardaway could have even sat in one of those seats that I have in my basement.
I was going to say you were just a little past Penny though, weren't you?
Yeah, I was only about 3 years, I think, past Penny. So
yeah, I used to watch a lot of Conference USA basketball. I'm originally from Charleston, so we had a couple kids playing at SLU when you were at Memphis, kind of. Big Carlos and Jeremy played like a year there, and then Corey Frazier too was there too, I think.
Oh yeah,
he was Corey. I think he was probably behind Chad. I bet.
A little bit. Yeah. Lamont. I think Lamont was a little ahead, and maybe Corey's a little behind, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was right there in between them, I believe.
Corey would have been 94. 94 was his senior year at Charleston. Would have been Corey's.
Yeah, and I graduated in 92.
Yeah.
You graduated.
You were Carlos Macaulay.
Yeah. In fact, I remember him. Did he play at SLU?
He played at SLU too. Yes.
Yeah. I played against him. Yeah.
That's right.
I played against him. Yeah.
Well, Chad, tell us your career. Interestingly, at the Rib City. Of course, you don't have very many Rib Cities, and I forgot to mention this. They have volleyball Rib Cities as well. So we've probably carved out an hour or so of his time that his only respite of the week. And we appreciate you doing that. But we played Sylvan Hills, who he came by and he was like, "That's where I went to school." And I was like, "No kidding. No wonder they got big kids. They had Chad there. Now they got these monsters we were playing against too. So maybe they just grow them down there like that." Tell us about if you don't mind, your story kind of from there, how you got to Three Rivers, and just kind of go through that process. Love to hear it.
Well, of course, you talked about Sylvan Hills, where I went to school. Believe it or not, I loved baseball more than basketball growing up. I always played basketball, but I didn't really get serious about it until I hit my growth spurt, and so that's when I really got started in basketball. And but I only played my senior year in high school. I got cut.
What?
Yeah, I got cut in junior high. So, uh, and then I even asked my coach when I got in high school. I asked him, I was like, should I try out? And he's like, oh no. He goes, I'm like, you're not worried about it. I'm like, oh my goodness. But yeah, he used to go out and
Really?
recruit on the other side of Little Rock, and so finally my senior year gets here, and I'm like, I got to play this year, and so uh, I made the team, and I ended up making All State that year. So I had a really good senior year. So I only played 1 year, uh, but I also had a Division I offer after just playing my senior year.
Well, what kind
So
of growth spurt did you hit?
yeah, I went from 5'10". I grew 6 inches in one summer. I went from 5'10" to 6'4", and so it's I think that I was 6'4" when I was 5'10" was as freshman, 6'4" when I was a sophomore, then 6'6" as my junior year, and 6'8" my senior year, and then I grew another 2 inches when I got to Three Rivers. But
Holy
with all that
crap.
said, my dad is only 5'8". And so,
What?
so I was beginning to wonder if there was something wrong with me. But
Yeah, your or thalamic, whatever that gland is, something swelled up or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pituitary gland, yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Pituitary. Yeah.
yeah. But it all worked out, especially for me playing basketball with my size. It definitely helped. So yeah,
Holy crap. So where was your offer from your 1 year?
it was from University of Arkansas Little Rock, ULR.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
Euler. Yeah.
And I'm sure you never heard of this player that was playing on the team at the time. We graduated together, and I actually played some AAU basketball with him, but his name was Derek Fisher.
No, never heard of him.
Yeah,
No, never heard of him.
yeah, but
No kidding.
but yeah, Derek Fisher played at Little Rock Parkview, so we are both seniors, and we played against each other. And but yeah, he's
He went to Euler?
yeah, he ended up going to Euler, and he didn't even start on his high school team for the majority of the years through high school. He had There was 6 guys that went Division I off that team, that Little Rock Parkview team, and so he was the lesser known out of those guys out of high school, and
Holy crap.
he just developed more and more there at ULR, and of course the rest is history. With him at the Lakers, and the career that he
Right.
had.
Hit a couple big shots down the stretch for them a couple times.
Oh yeah.
And so did you decided not to go there? You went to Three Rivers. How did that happen?
Well,
Or-
I was I wasn't the brightest high school student. My grades and my ACT score wasn't good enough to go to a 4-year school, so I had to go to the
Okay.
junior college route. And
Okay.
I'm just glad that Coach Best took a chance on me
Yeah.
because I wasn't really fundamentally sound. I wasn't uh, as strong as I should be, to get to that next level. Uh, and our assistant at Three Rivers at the time was Tom Barr, and he didn't really think that Coach Best should take a chance on me. But I'm definitely glad that Coach Best decided to bring me in, and of course I redshirted my first year there at Three Rivers.
Well, first off, and Coach Bess, what an outstanding human being. First off, from what I know him very limited. Obviously, you know him a lot better than I do. Outstanding human being. I know he recently passed. I'm sorry to hear that, but he was an outstanding person from what I gather. And so I'm sure he was probably able to develop you in ways like that. But the fact that he, I guess, quote unquote, took a chance on you was probably central to who he was as well.
Yeah, definitely. My first year there, redshirting, having to practice that hard throughout the whole season, was pretty tough on me not getting to play. And I'd actually had a conversation with my dad on the phone, thinking, man, I don't know if I can stick this out. I mean, how? And I told him I was thinking about, quit, maybe come back home. And my dad was like, well, you better start walking because I'm not going to come get you.
Well,
Because
I guess you could walk.
I didn't have a vehicle at the time, so I was stuck there. So
Well,
it made me so much better that redshirt year. Looking back now, I am so grateful that I stuck with it, because not only did I get a lot better fundamentally, but I also got a lot stronger, and
yeah.
that's what helped me, more than anything, especially going into playing the next 2 years there at Three Rivers and having the success that I had while I was there.
What
Do
it
they
takes a
still? I
while to.
think they call that stress fracture. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Micah.
I said it takes a little while for you to adjust to that growth spurt, like what 6, 7 inches in like a couple years, right? Kind
Oh yeah,
of.
yeah.
I
It
mean,
definitely took a while for me to adjust to that, and
to
once
build
I
the
did,
strength. Yeah.
and oh yeah, and I definitely got a lot stronger, and it definitely helped me a lot.
Did you have any kids with stress fractures there? We hear that. Don't they still call that stress fracture you over there? And they
Yeah,
get.
yeah. We definitely had some injuries. I even had a couple of injuries, while I was there, as well. Uh, but one thing I was going to say about Coach Bass is he was always a step ahead of of everyone. He was a student of the game. Back then, nobody lifted weights in college. Uh,
Oh,
and he was a firm believer in it. And, I think that was, one of the things that really made him, his team stand out compared to other teams. And then even some of the drills that he did, he was, like I said, a student of the game, and he was going to try to find every way he could to try to get an advantage. And so, that was one of the things. And that was the one thing that I needed more than anything was, to get stronger. And so it was definitely helpful for me.
well, I think your comment about redshirting is not the worst thing in the world for a lot of kids. I mean, not everybody's a Derek Fisher or whoever. They're going to need a year physically to prepare for that level of basketball. And you're kidding yourself if you don't think that level's physical. I mean, I've seen some of those games, and woo wee, it
Oh,
is physical.
yeah, and it's in fact, I think it was really more physical back then than what it is today. So yeah, it's definitely a physical game, and you definitely got to be not only physically strong but mentally strong as well. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're so I guess you were there 3 years in technically.
yeah, 3 years. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
And then how did Memphis come about? Who was the coach there then at Memphis? Is that Larry Brown?
Yeah, it was Larry Finch. Yep.
Oh, Finch. Finch. Sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? How'd that come about?
Well, I had visited some other schools. Like I ended up going to visit Washington State, and uh, Memphis had a player at the time named David Vaughn, and he declared for the NBA draft, and so it opened up a position there at Memphis, and so uh, Memphis called me and then brought me in, and they offered me a scholarship, and I thought, well, that's only 2 hours away from home for me, growing up and living in Little Rock, so it'd be a lot easier for my parents to come watch me play, and so uh, I definitely decided to go there, and not only because they at the time they were going to be really good as well. So I think we were ranked number 14 in the nation starting out my junior year there at Memphis.
Oh wow, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you got a lot of playing time.
I didn't realize. I mean, I remember Memphis has always had a real.
I remember watching.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
yeah, and what helped me more than anything, my very first Division I game there at Memphis, we were playing at Kemper Arena there in Kansas City, and we're playing against Purdue, and of course, Brad Miller was on that team.
Oh dang!
They had some other really good players as well. But uh, uh, when Coach Finch called on me, there at the beginning of the game, I was just like, oh my goodness. I mean, this is on ESPN. Dick Vitale's doing the game, and I was so nervous. And I got in the game, and I was 7 for 7. I didn't miss a single shot. And one of the big highlights of that game was the ball came off the rim. Our guard drove and shot, and the ball came off the rim, and I came in from behind and just dunked it right on top of Brad Miller. And
Gosh.
Yeah,
I'm going to go find that clip, and I'm going to put that on our video. I'm going to go find that and put that over this. That's awesome.
But yeah, it really.
What year was that?
That was 95, 96. Yep. And we were playing in there at Kemper Arena, and we played Purdue, and Kansas played Utah right after us. But yeah, it was a really good.
What was that? Was that just like a regular season game?
It was called the Black Coaches Association. They had that every year at the beginning of the year back then.
Okay.
And, But yeah, it was. That helped me confidence-wise more than anything. That first game, being able to go 7 for 7, and I didn't miss a free throw. I went 1 for 2 from free throw line, so I didn't go perfect in the game. But even after the game, Dick Vitale had me come on ESPN and do a little interview with him afterwards.
What?
It was pretty cool. But yeah,
I'm gonna get that on here too. That is awesome. And Dick, I guess you saw where he's having I know. He's been having some health problems, but he looked like he got the all clear. Do you have some kind of throat cancer or something? Or I just saw a social media post where he got the all clear from something.
Dick Vitale, yes. Yeah. I'm not sure what kind it was.
Yeah. He had been but man, what a legend of the game, or of that of basketball, or announcing or whatever. That's really cool. Were you scared to death on there when he was talking to you?
No, I mean, yeah, I was nervous, but it was just a pretty neat experience.
I'd say so.
But I will say the game that I was looking forward to that year more than any other game was when we played Arkansas.
That game, they owe it. You teach your people to honor contracts. You sign the contract. Wilson missing on the alley-oop, but Allen is there, and Chad is into double figures. Chad's in his zone, baby. Chad is in his zone.
And because growing up in Little Rock, that's where I was a Razorback fan growing up, and so that's where my dream was always to play there, and so to be able to play against them, and plus against my former college teammate Sunday Adebayo, he played for them. And
I forgot Sunday went there. That's right.
Yeah, so I really looked forward to that game that year, and I ended up having 20 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 steals against them. And guess who was doing the game again? Dick Vitale. It was on ESPN. So
it sounded like Memphis needed to hire him to be your announcer, so you could just run roughshod over everybody. Holy crap!
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm taking some notes here so I can remember to do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back and pull those up. Those are awesome. That'd be great clips.
Did Sunday end up coming to Memphis at one point?
Yes, he did. The NCAA came out and said he was ineligible, which they reversed it. A year later, found him eligible all along. It was just a big mess. But he had to go to a non-SEC school, and so Roy Williams at Kansas really wanted him. And so Coach Finch, he talked to me and said, "Hey, is there any way you can get Sunday to come to Memphis?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, Coach, I can get him to come over here." And, so yeah, he came over and played my senior year with me there at the University of Memphis.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I remember when you guys played at yeah. Oh crap. Who was the other guy that played in the NBA from Three Rivers? I forgot his name now.
Latrell Sprewell.
Latrell, yeah. He was before you though, right?
Yes, yeah. He was before us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, did he go to the NBA at all?
No, he definitely had some guys, talking, to him and all that. But, I think that sort of messed him up a little bit whenever he had to stop playing his first year there at Arkansas. He played against us when we played against them, but then I think it was probably 2 or 3 games later, he was having a great year, and he had to sit out because of the ineligible concerns and stuff. But I probably hurt him a little bit with that. And, NCAA, at least they made up for what they did. They gave him an extra year. So he went
Yeah.
back to Arkansas, after he played
Oh,
with me at Memphis. So I was playing in Europe and Sunday was playing his last year at Arkansas.
okay. That was I was kind of leading into where I was going. So
Yeah.
you played in Europe. How long did you play over there?
I didn't play very long at all. I mean, I only played a year there, but
Okay.
yeah. My wife's dad got sick. He had multiple sclerosis, and so we were trying to help take care of him. And so
Of course.
I just came back home and help be with them. But
That's
yeah.
a tough road for an American to. Go ahead, Micah.
To play overseas. Yeah. I was kind of going a different route there. I remember you coming the first time I remember like seeing you on ESPN one year, and within the next year or two, you were on the bench with Coach Mack at New Madrid. Kind
of. Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
How did all that transpire? So you played at Memphis. You graduated from Memphis, went to Europe, and played for a year. How did you get back this way? A guy from Little Rock who's got. To me, I think that's a pretty good hotbed for high school basketball. At least I would think.
Yeah. Well, the University of Memphis let me do my student teaching because I wasn't finished yet with my college when I went over to Europe. So I still had to do my student teaching. But the good thing is the University of Memphis let me finish up through SEMO. And so I did my student teaching through SEMO, and Memphis paid for it. And so that's why I was back in the area, being with my wife and her dad and help, taking care of them. And
is she from Dexter?
No, she's from Bloomfield.
Okay.
That's where we live. And so while I was doing my student teaching at Advance, Lennis McFerrin called me up and said, "Hey," he goes, "You want to come over here and help me coach?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." So while I was doing my student teaching at Advance, I would drive to New Madrid and coach that afternoon. And I coached a freshman team, and then I also was his assistant on varsity. But I had a pretty good freshman team. It was Derek Tipler and Ronald Ranson and all those guys, if you remember them.
I do. I do.
So I started out thinking I could coach really well. I didn't really realize the talent that I had was extremely good. And but those were some fun years and a great way to get started off coaching.
For sure. So you're there. How long were you in New Madrid?
I was at New Madrid just for a year. Yeah.
Okay. Weren't you at Puxico for a while, or no?
Yeah. I was at Puxico for 6-7 years before I came over to Dexter. And
okay, the boys coach there, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I was a boys coach over there. Yeah.
Okay. And then when you came to Dexter originally, though, you were the girls coach for how many years? Putting you on the spot, coach.
Yeah, I know it. I'm not sure exact years, but it was a long time. I definitely really enjoyed coaching the girls there. We definitely had a lot of success while I was there, but we had a lot of good talent coming through, which always helps. Yeah.
Yes. How's that compare coaching boys and girls? I'm always interested in that to hear, because there's obviously got to be a different way to do it, or I would think it would be.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest difference is just the size of the basketball. To me, coaching boys and girls were really about the same. I will say that girls probably listen a little better and try to do the things you're, trying to teach them to do. But other than that, it's not too. The speed of the game is different. The physicality is a little different, but overall, I definitely enjoyed coaching the girls just because they listen well and they they definitely worked hard and had some great groups that came through.
Did you have to like jump on them? Like, I mean, you're a coach. There's going to be times when you're going to have to get after some kids. I get it. Do you do that? Do you catch yourself doing that more with boys than girls kind of thing? Or
really, I did it with both. I still
well, good. Equal opportunity butt chewer.
Yeah, I still coach the girls like I was coaching boys. I didn't really change at all. So there was not that much of a difference at all. I just still coach the same way.
Well, I remember several of those teams that you had, and I'm talking about with Hannah, Erica, Paige. What was Allison, Gerald? I know those were some squads that you had there through there. And how many Final Fours did you get to?
4. Yeah, we went to 4 Final Fours. Yeah.
Holy crap! I was thinking 2.
Yeah, we got 4th place twice. We got 3rd place, and then I think the year you're talking about was maybe that 2013, 2014, where we got 2nd. And
Incarnate Word or somebody?
Yeah, Incarnate Word, and they had a pretty good player in the Feast of Collier.
I'm just going to say, of Connecticut, UConn fame, and now she's still in the WNBA, right? Or I think she was.
Yeah, she's still in WNBA, but yeah, they Incarnate Word, they're always extremely good, and that might have been one of the best teams they've ever had. And I think we were down like 6 points at the half, ended up getting beat by. Well, no, I think we were down 8 or 9 or something like that. But end up getting beat by I think 17 or something like that. But I thought we played extremely well. It's just, man, they were so talented, and
sometimes you just can't match up with them. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, and we also played against another WNBA star, Sophie Cunningham, that year. If you know,
I forgot
Sophie.
about that. Oh yeah.
She played at Columbia Rockbridge, and we played down there in St. Louis at St. Joseph Academy, and that was another team that was extremely good that year. I believe they won Class 5, and then Incarnate won Class 4.
Okay, well, that's just what I was getting ready to say. Micah just mentioned our new girls coach here, Emmy Watkins, who coached at Bloomfield for just right before she came here. She went to St. Joe Academy, but I think she's younger than them. She probably didn't play with Sophie, or she didn't mention it. We had her on here last summer. She didn't mention playing with them, but yeah, Sophie, she played at Mizzou, right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you played against some talent, I'd say.
Yeah. Got to get the finger out for Sophie, right? The meme going around with her.
Oh yeah, she's got the old pointing thing now. That's her. That's kind of her deal now. That's right. When you were playing, and of course, you had some obviously very good coaches. Played under obviously a legend, Gene Best. Larry Finch obviously is well renowned in the college coaching ranks. Were there things that they did that you thought, you know what, I'm going to do those things, or that's how, or did you? I guess I'm asking even a different question to kind of go along with it. At the time, did you think you were going to coach, or you wanted to play, or after you played, you wanted to coach, kind of thing?
Well, it was actually probably my, I think, second year. Yeah, it was my second year at Three Rivers because I grew up liking art. And so my first year at Three Rivers, I took a lot of art classes. And during my second year, I took a coaching basketball successfully class through Coach Best. And that's when I made up my mind I wanted to be a coach.
Oh, wow.
My brother was also, he was 2 years ahead of me, but my brother was also going into teaching and coaching. And so, that sort of helped me as well decide what I wanted to do. But more than anything, taking that class and being around Coach Best is what really wanted me to be a coach.
I would say it's pretty good start if you're learning from him, for sure. Holy crap. Now you've I told you when we talked on the phone last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, that you've kind of changed or I say kind of changed your philosophy, and you can tell us all this, but he was just a man-to-man 100% of the time, the way I can tell. And you've obviously are a little bit different than that. So how did that come about?
Yeah, in a way, I'm a little bit like Coach Hollifield, where he was man to man when he first
Yes.
started out, and
Yes.
changed to 2-2-1 back to 2-3. But I was the same way. You had to spend a ton of time to be extremely good defensively playing man to man, and I just over the years, it just seemed like we just struggled defensively. Again, I'm not near as good a coach as Coach Best by any means. So,
Right. Right.
but I just found out that playing a zone was a better fit, for me as a coach and for the teams that I've had coming through. Not, not saying you shouldn't still do some man to man, which I do, but I primarily like to do our 1-2-2 zone and our 1-2-2 press, and I feel like it fits us, really well.
1-2-2, you just don't see it a lot, and it's tough to prepare for. Just puts
Yeah,
a lot of. That's the key. Yeah.
and that's what I like about it. And uh, you don't see it much, and it's hard to prepare. And it seems like a lot of teams, around the area, struggle against it. And but uh, but yeah, it's definitely worked for us, and that's what we do.
Mike and I talked on the first part. Again, the part that you weren't on there, that other than the games that we lost last year, you guys obviously gave us some trouble, for sure, with the way you played, and frankly, your physicality was a lot. Again, when I say that, I mean in the good respect, not cheap. There's not cheap stuff. I'm just talking about kids being strong. How do you say his name? Ibrahim.
Yeah.
What a physical young man. And then you had the Turnbow kid that was strong, and like, holy crap.
Yeah, we talk about our area, and earlier talking about how physical, it is, and that's one thing as a coach, that I try to implement in our practices is we get pretty physical in our practices, and because you got to be able to get out there every game, and try to win. And when you to try to get a step ahead, you got to try to be physical. And so we get physical in practice, and so hopefully that carries over to being physical in the game. But like you said, not in a dirty way. But
No, right. No,
it's just the way you gotta play to be able to compete.
no, obviously your teams aren't dirty. You can tell how you coach and all that stuff. I wasn't meaning that at all, but
Oh yeah,
Mike and I talked about that. Where your practices have to be difficult, and the game should be easy, right? I mean, you're working them in practice, but by the time they get there, it's probably not as physical as your practices, I would bet.
Yeah. Our practices are definitely more physical than the games. And I will say, early on as a coach, I'd practice 3.5 hours, and it's because you had to break down every man-to-man drill. And
Right.
now that we do the 1-2-2, I don't practice near as long. I practice tops 2 hours, and
Right.
well, when we're in there, we're getting after it. We're going to be physical, and so it's pretty tough in practice, but that way games should be maybe a little easier. And
Right.
but we definitely like to get after it in practice.
Well, also, this too as a player, and I've heard Coach Hollifield say this, and I don't know that he said the words load management, but you can tell as the season goes on, especially if you start getting further into the playoffs. I mean, your legs they're going to get wobbly, and you're going to have to let up a little bit as you go down the stretch for those kids to make sure they have some energy for the games.
Yes. Yeah, and we always cut back like 30 minutes, I would say. So at the beginning of the year, we go 2 hours, go extremely hard, and then by the end of the year, we're only going like an hour and a half. But we're also doing a little more shooting instead of getting extremely physical, like we do throughout the course of the year. And so we definitely try to cut back on the time, later in the year and try to get more shooting in and that kind of stuff.
Yep. Well, Coach, how did the whole Rib City thing come about? I mean, when I kind of remember when it started, but it seemed like you'd have, I don't know, half a dozen the summer and maybe more, but now it seems like it's every week and from June to August almost, or whatever.
Yeah, it started out back when I was coaching girls basketball. We would travel to St. Louis or Rolla and Branson, and that was like the only places you could go to play in some team camps. And so at that time, the Bearcat Event Center was being built, and so I just thought, man, why not try to host them here in our area? And our area has always been known for basketball, and being right here in the 5-state region where it's easy access and be able to pull teams from different states made it pretty appealing.
I would say, I can tell you, and of course, I don't speak for Coach Hollifield, but I've heard him say it a few times that I'd rather drive to Dexter and play all kinds of teams. We can play teams from St. Louis, as you said, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Illinois, wherever. And otherwise, he was always going. He said he would go like to Union University down in Jackson, Tennessee. That's 2 hours, like you said, to St. Louis, Murray, just traveling the whole summer. And this makes it, or at least for Sykeston, super simple to go over there and play and get really good competition.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see the same teams that you see throughout the regular season. And so,
exactly.
It definitely helps when you can just stay right here at home and be able to play teams from different states and different areas, and definitely makes it a lot better.
What does it take to pull something like that off? Because, I mean, you've got, my gosh, sometimes 2 and 3 different locations, and you've got to have
referees, concessions,
50 people doing it plus the officials or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, and it takes a ton of work. And I've got a lot of people out there. I started, used to I just do it all myself, try to do it all myself, but now I've delegated a lot, and I've got a lot of good people that help me run it. And if it wasn't for them, it definitely wouldn't be very successful.
Is there? So you've got probably. Do most of the officials call, like, they'll say, okay, I'm here all day, or is it just kind of different with each one and what they can do, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to find officials in the summer because most people have a day job, so you gotta find guys that can that do it basically year round. And so I've made some connections with other people that know people from St. Louis or Arkansas or Kentucky, and so we pull officials from probably 3, maybe 4 different states usually in the summer that can come in and ref all day, which definitely helps. But it is a struggle to try to find officials, and especially good officials. But we make it work somehow.
I would say it's certainly one of the premier team camps, that's for sure. And I know it's been a lot of work. Now, how long has that been going on? 15 years now?
Yeah,
probably.
15. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was just a guess. Holy cow!
Yeah,
I can't imagine the number of games that have been played in that place.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously depending on the kids, or on the number of teams in. But when you're coaching, and so even though you went from the girls to the boys team, and Dexter has had in the past, they've had some quality teams, and they had, obviously, well, about the time when you're in New Madrid, they had a coach, Paul Hale, that was, I think I'd put him up there. He's as good a coach as there is, or has been, in my opinion. Now, he didn't coach as long as some, but what a offensive mind, that's for sure. What a great coach. But when you take over a team like that, what do you try to do to like change a culture? Do you look at, I mean, what do you do to try to change that?
Well, you know, when I was first, coaching, back in the day, it's just mainly just trying to instill discipline, early on, and that's what you want to do more than anything is try to make sure that you got your discipline in there. But I know one of your questions earlier on your questions was about, is it I think how did you word it? Offensive, defensive,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
and
Expectations or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, and back in the day I was more defensive minded, and now I'm a little bit more offensive minded, and just because I get to work on offense a little bit more and not to spend so much time like we talked about earlier on man-to-man principles and that kind of stuff, which we still do that with our defense, but I'm definitely a little more offensive minded now than I am defensive. But
there's and Micah and I were talking earlier, the game, even, and I'm just going back to these 2 games last year that you played us, before, I won't say the knock, but before you were coaching the boys, sometimes it's like, oh crap, here comes Dexter. They want it 50 to 40 or 52-46. Slow it down, take the air out of the basketball, so to speak. It doesn't seem like that's your mode, and not it wasn't your mode, or in my opinion, or based on what I saw as girls coach. And I know it obviously depends time to time on what your personnel is, but when you had your son, I felt like you guys got up and down pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like to play a fast-paced, game. But I will say, I think our 1-2-2 makes it a lot tougher on teams to attack, and so it slows it down a little bit more that way. But we still like to get out and push the ball up the floor. Still like to play a fast-paced game, and so I think that's the reason why some of the scores are a little low. But I know we've set the record a couple times, a Dexter record on points allowed in the season, and which has definitely helped. Which is just shows you how that 1-2-2 has really helped us defensively.
Yeah, no, and what I was saying about the scores, that was before you got there. They're going to take the air out of the ball and try to make, like I said, 30 to 20 or whatever. Now I agree with you.
Yeah.
We want to go and run, but heck, you set up in that 1-2-2, and all of a sudden, like, well, crap. Now we you can't get it up the floor very quickly because you got, that defense is set up that way. Oh, for sure.
But yeah, like I said, I think that's the reason why we set the record on the fewest amount of points in a season is because of our 1-2-2. But yeah, we still want to push the ball up, court. Kids like to play fast. They want to get up and down the court, and so that's always been my philosophy. Offensively is to get out and push, but it's definitely been good for us.
Oh, for sure. Now, your team last year, what was your final record? 20, putting you on the spot here again.
Yeah. I'd have to look and see.
Well, that's okay. But you got to the quarterfinals, though, correct?
Yes, we played the quarterfinals against Clayton, and
that's right.
Just one game short of getting to the Final Four. But Clayton was definitely a really good team. We had
like blue and orange or something, because I remember watching them play when we were at the Final Four this year. I remember seeing them. I didn't realize who was beat y'all. Okay.
Yeah, and they played some of the similar teams as Sykeston played this past season. But yeah, they're a really good team. Had 2 really good guards, and they got those guys back. So it's going to be Clayton will probably be back in the mix again next year, and but we got we got a lot of good key pieces back on our team, and we're definitely excited about this next year and looking forward to getting started.
Yeah, Mike and I talked again just a little bit ago. We were talking about how I saw the article was posted on CMO Ball, and you were talking about some of your kids. Do you mind talking about a couple of them? I know you got the Ibrahim kid back, Geatley,
Nichols.
That's Nichols. The 3 that I can remember, who is a player and is going to be even better. Whew.
Oh yeah, yeah, and all three of those guys have gotten better throughout the course of the summer. And then we've got some guys coming up from our JV team that's been playing extremely well this summer, like an Ian Roper. Ian has improved leaps and bounds. I mean, he has gotten a lot better this summer. We got a Camel Neely, who is about just as good a shooter as Will Geatley. And then, yeah, so we'll have some really good shooters again this next year. We also got Bryce Burnett, who is another guard that's been playing well for this with us this summer too. So we'll have some depth, and they got a lot of experience, this year. Those guys that came up this summer, and right now our chemistry is really good. We've been playing pretty well this summer.
You're the Geatley kid. Now his dad was a good player too, right?
Yes, Sean Geatley. Yeah.
Sean. Yeah, I know that when preparing for you guys, I know that Coach Hollifield will, and they're like, if you don't know where 43 is, we're making a mistake because he burned us. I think he hit 5 or 6 or 7 threes against us and torched us.
Yeah. And he set a school record this year for the most threes in the season. So
really,
so we got him, like you said, coming back, and again, Coach Hollifield's going to talk about that other shooter this year too, and Campbell Dealer. So you can't leave him open as well. So now we got 2 big threats. So that will definitely help.
Yep. Now I think that's what makes the CMO conference, and Coach, obviously Dexter's in the CMO conference. I think it's one of the top conferences in the whole state. Just from top to bottom, you're going to get a dogfight every night. That's just my opinion. I think we got 5 or 6 really good teams.
Yeah. And every year you got those teams, going deep in the playoffs, and then this year, I mean, oh my goodness, the CMO conference is going to be really tough. A lot of teams got a lot of players back. I know Sykeston's lost, several, but Sykeston always replaces them, and they're always going to be competitive. They're always going to be good. But other than that, a lot of the other teams got a lot of players coming back, even Charleston and New Madrid, and
I think Jackson's going to be a handful again.
Yeah, Jackson's definitely going to be a handful. I mean, they're going to be just as good, if not better, than last year. So
yes,
it's going to be a stout this year. It's going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's going to actually.
Do you guys? Well, I've been kind of following, or not following, just kind of social media stuff. I see that Goliath Morris Young has been playing real well this summer.
Yes,
I don't know what kind of guards they have coming in, but
Michael Porter's kids on there.
Oh, cheese.
Yeah.
That's what I don't.
Cape Central's going to be much improved, this next year.
Yeah. They're probably surprising people. Of course, they're a district foe for us. I don't know about Notre Dame. They're going to be dangerous. I would be careful.
They got pretty much everybody back. I mean, so again, they're going
stronger, better over the course of the year. Yep.
Yeah, they bring back about as much as anybody, I think. Notre Dame does. So I mean, they're going to be extremely competitive, extremely good. So up and down. I mean, you got to be ready every night. In the CMO conference. Even Kennett's got a really good freshman group coming up. So they'll be much better. So
correct. When you do you watch a lot of film, like, to prepare during the season, or do you do that more playoffs, or what's your philosophy on that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I definitely watch a lot of film, and as the playoffs gets a little closer, I definitely watch more film later in the season than I do at the beginning of the season. But as a coach, you've always got to watch film and try to prepare for every game. And so, but toward the end of the season, I'm sure even Sykeston does the same thing. They'll get film from schools that they think that they might face, coming up in the playoffs. So you want to try to be as well prepared and try to get all that information well ahead of time so you can start working on it a little bit.
Do you do you think in person watching is better or film, or do you get the same from both, or what?
It's it's definitely a whole lot better in person.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes in the film, sometimes watching a film, you really can't see the stuff that you can see live, and so it's always better to get there in person and be able to watch a team. But sometimes you don't have that luxury, especially if it's a
Right.
team you know pretty far away and your schedule just doesn't line up. But so then you just got to go off film.
Right. Right. Well, there are times when you're preparing for a team, but heck, back in the day, and you probably even had part of this too, that you're you're trying to scout a team from somewhere up north, and you got to drive to. I've heard coaches say back in the day they'd have to meet somewhere in Perryville and exchange a bunch of stacks of tapes, and you're watching.
Oh yeah. My first several years coaching, that's what we had to do. We had to drive everywhere to get a VHS, tape. So times have definitely changed.
Yes, with the advent of Michael, where'd you go?
I disconnected for a minute, so I mean, I don't know.
You're back. Yeah, the huddle, A Corp Sports. I mean, how good is that to have them in our region?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's amazing what A Corp has done in our area, to promote the game of basketball, and man, it's so well organized. The commentary is so great, and just the overall quality of the film. I mean, it's amazing what their cameras can do and what they do, throughout the games.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to call the YouTube games for Sykeston at our home games, but they are ESPN-like for sure. I mean, the budget's not quite that big, but
yeah.
I mean, heck, Chad, we've got monitors. We can watch replays. We can see all kinds of stuff. And even during football, they gave me a telestrator. Now, they kept me on a short leash, but I did have a telestrator. But no, they are outstanding in what they do, and it's a blessing to have them to watch. Just as a fan of high school basketball, to watch, you guys when you played Clayton, that game is televised. So to be able to watch that stuff, and you guys beat Fredericktown in your sections. Potosi. Yeah. Beat Potosi.
And that was one of our best games of the year, and A Corp did an amazing job with that game. I mean, it was really good.
Yes.
Aren't they taking on some more schools this year? Aren't they taking on Jackson?
I saw. Yes, I just saw where they're going to do Jackson football. Their home. I assume they're home games. Maybe they're going to do all of them. But the way I saw it was that they're Jackson home games. Yeah,
they're actually going to do the Three Rivers College games now, boys and girls.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I did see that. That's right. That's a big deal. I mean, that's going to bring, in my opinion, I think that will bring Three Rivers basketball to a lot more people. That even though it's literally, well, I mean, for you, it's what 20, 25 minutes. It's 45 minutes for us from here.
Yeah.
But that'll bring that to a lot more homes, and I think that only helps them, in my opinion.
For sure.
Coach, when you've been doing this quite a while, you look back and you're thinking, crap, 2000, that doesn't seem that long ago. Well, heck, that's been 26 years now, right?
Yeah.
That's literally a teaching career, basically.
Yeah.
When you're done, you're hanging up the whistle, so to speak. What do you hope your kids say about you?
Well,
or former players, I should say.
I mean, I guess maybe showing them that their hard work, their preparation, and their accountability, translates directly to real world success. Hopefully that will pay off, and hopefully they'll be successful in life. Yep.
Awesome. Coach, we got a couple more questions for you, and we'll let you get to it. And again, we appreciate you taking time away from your family for just a little while for us. But we call it our lightning round, so we just got some kind of a this or that kind of thing.
Yep.
What do you get a better feeling from, actually hitting a big shot or drawing up the winning play?
Drawing up the winning play.
Well, not surprising. I've seen you over there because you got that board close by.
Oh yeah,
I see it. I see it all the time. What's the toughest gym for a visiting team in our area?
I would definitely say Sikeston or Charleston.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Actually, it's kind of a sidebar to that. What would you say has a? Let me take Sikeston out of it. Where would you say your best environment is outside of Sikeston? And I'm obviously being a little biased here.
Yeah. I would probably have to say Jackson. Yeah.
I thought you might say Bloomfield. I really enjoy that Bloomfield Christmas tournament.
Yeah. If you're talking about, outside of SEMO Conference.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. No doubt the Bloomfield Christmas tournament. That's really the best environment, anywhere that we play. I will say that, the SEMO Conference tournament last year was an extremely, what you said, take Sikeston out of it, but that was extremely good environment. They're both pretty comparable, to the fan base and the excitement. But I think there at Bloomfield, since fans are actually a little bit closer and it's a little more compact in there, makes it an extremely good environment.
Mike, I love that gym. Mike and I talk about this all the time. That Bloomfield gym, of course. I'd love for Sikeston to play in that gym. Yeah. Sikeston's playing up north, and that's just one of those things. But that's a really cool venue. I love going over there when we can go over there and watch. What's one rule that you might change in high school basketball?
Well, I would say it's not necessarily a rule, but I would love to have the shot clock, and especially the way we guard defensively in a 1-2-2. I mean, I think we could get a lot of shot clock violations, against teams, which, in the SEMO Conference tournament last year, we had it, and we had several shot clock violations. So, as a coach, that's one thing I would love to have. And after this year, when I retire from Dexter, I'm probably going to go down back to Little Rock, where I'm from, and coach 5 more years. So, they're in Arkansas. They've got the shot clock every game. So
what'd you say?
I got 1 more year left.
Breaking news? Was that breaking news?
Really? Heck, that's breaking news on the doghouse.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, next year will be year 28 for me, and so that'll get my 80 and out. And so So I'll
you're gonna go double dip then.
Go double dip, and plus, I still love coaching, so I like to get down in the Little Rock area where I'm from, and I always thought that'd be pretty neat to go back home, in the area and coach. So definitely looking forward to that as well.
Okay. Interesting, Coach. I met a gentleman this weekend, a friend of a friend, who he's an administrator at Pulaski Academy down in Little Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like PA, as they call it. I thought it was a. Micah, do you know what I'm talking about when I say Pulaski Academy? You know what they were famous for? Put you on the spot.
Was that
that football coach that never punted? Yeah, that's it. The football coach that never punted. He's not there anymore because I asked this guy. Yeah. I said, isn't that the place where the guy didn't punt? And he goes, yeah, he's not here. He went to.
Yeah, he's down south in Arkansas now.
Okay.
He didn't kick it off, did he?
But he's.
No.
He didn't kick it off.
Well, I mean, he had to kick it off, but no, he never.
I thought he did onside. I was thinking he did a lot of onside kicks, too.
I think that's right, too. I think you're right, Micah. And maybe they went for 2 every time, too. I don't think they kicked. Yeah, I think you're right.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. What a – wow. All right. So we kind of talked about this, but man-to-man or zone?
Zone. Yeah.
Yep. I sometimes you hear people that are critics of it, but sometimes you just don't have the horses to match up. I mean, and I'm saying it from a Sykeston perspective. Look back in 2016 when we played Vashon in the Final Four in the semis. They had 6'9" Levi Stockard, 6'4" Corey Gilbert. They had a 6'8" Joel. I can't think of his kid. Ended up playing at Old Dominion. They had another 6'3", and their point guard was like 6'1". Now we had Fred that could maybe match up with somebody at that time, but who in the heck's going to guard the 6'8" kid? Who's going to guard Levi Stockard? And we had to play them. I mean, there was no other choice that we had.
Yeah.
And so I'm with you.
Yeah.
Who is the best basketball player you played with? Or let me back up. Or you shared the court with even?
Shared the court with, I would have to say, for sure, Penny Hardaway and Allen Iverson.
Yeah. Oh, you played with AI or against him, I guess?
I played against him, yeah. He was at Georgetown when I was at Memphis, and we played him twice. We played him once at our place and once at their place.
So, wow. Yeah, he was different.
Yeah, and then I played Penny in the summer. I played on the summer league team, and so that was pretty impressive because he was in his prime back then. He played for the Orlando Magic. It was like his third year at Orlando, and right in his prime. And so yeah.
How big is he? 6'6", 6'7"?
6'7". Yeah, 6'7" point guard.
Yeah. Who is one coach you would love to sit beside during a game and hear what he talks about?
I would have to say Don Meyer, just because he was a lot like Coach Bess. Fundamental guy. And yeah, I mean he had an unbelievable coaching career. I actually got to meet him because Coach Bess brought him in to one of his coaching clinics in the summer. And Coach Bess actually asked me, he goes, "Hey, you want to go to lunch with me and Coach Meyer?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." So,
well, heck yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time talking with him, then. But I would love to be able to sit by him, back in the day whenever he was coaching, because he's one of the best coaches of all time as well.
Right.
But yeah.
Was he the coach that coached that?
David Lipscomb.
What's that?
At Lipscomb. He coached at Lipscomb. Yeah.
Don Meyer. Did he not coach? Who was the coach that coached the team? The first all-black team that played Kentucky back in the. Was that not him? Who was that? Is that not him? I think it's somebody different. I'll have to go. I need Brian James. Where's Brian James? He could tell me. I need Brian James on here. I need him sitting over here to the side of me, telling me, Google it for me. He'll probably know. I can't.
Yeah.
Who the heck was that? Anyway, I'll look it up and I'll put it on here. Now I can add stuff to this afterwards, and I'll pop it up on the screen.
Somebody will tell you afterwards. They'll text you next week.
They'll send me a text and go, "That was so and so." Oh yeah. All right, Coach. Last question. Finish this sentence. A Chad Allen basketball team will always blank.
Compete. Yeah.
I like it. I hear that word from coaches more and more as I kind of get to know more of them. Obviously, you want to win. I mean, there's no question. You hadn't done it for 28 years to stand around and hopefully you go out there and, you don't care if you win or lose. Obviously you do, because you spend, what we say, blood, sweat, tears, time, treasure, all that stuff to get your teams prepared. But I guess the fact that you want to compete too, and you don't want to just get whipped. If you're competing, that means a lot too.
Yeah. And I mean, if you are down, even if it's by a lot, I mean, you still want your guys to compete as hard as, they were, if they're beating a team by 10. So, I mean, it's just a matter of getting out there, competing and getting after it, the whole game.
Awesome. I totally agree with you. And that just, speaking of life lessons, that just tells you what you have to do. I mean, there are going to be times that in your professional life or whatever, that things aren't going to go, or you're down 20 in your professional life, so to speak.
Yeah.
I still got to get up and go to work in the morning, right? It still have to go.
Oh yeah.
Because I got people that depend on me too. I like to eat some, so I just want to make sure I got some money to be able to do that. Exactly. Well, Coach, we have taken up about an hour of your time, and we very much appreciate it. We're glad that you took some time here from your family and spent with us to do this. We're thankful also that you got the Rib City. That's not only just selfishly for us, but it's a good way to kind of see what teams got forming coming for the year. And just as a fan of high school basketball, I enjoy going to watch, and where you can watch, my gosh, 30 games a day, I guess, if that's what you wanted, with all the varsity, junior varsity, freshman games, and whatever. And is your volleyball growing some too, I guess, starting to pick up pace?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely grown quite a bit. Last week we had a 3-day one. This week we got two 2-day ones. And then our last one is the 29th and 30th next week. So it's wrapping up here toward the end of the summer and getting close to the end.
Yep. Will you have any basketball in August, or that's kind of when football takes over kind of thing?
No, that's our dead period. So yeah,
that's right.
It's pretty much over with, that last week in July. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. Now, I know you're going to join Micah and me, because we always finish our podcast we always say "Go Dogs." So I know you're going to join us when we say that, right?
Oh no.
I know. I'm giving you a hard time. Of course, we had who was it? Was that Minner on here? It said "Go Jays." Who was that, Micah?
Yeah, it was Minner. Minner.
Yeah, of course, we were trying to keep him reined in as best as we could, trying to keep the bleeper nearby and kind of all that stuff, just so there's no telling. He told us quite a few stories, and I guess some of the other stories were off recorded, so we didn't get to put those on there. Probably a better place for him anyway.
We're going to ask him for 3 potential guests.
Yeah. Thank you, Micah. Yeah, go ahead, ask him. I forgot.
So, can you give us a name of 3 people that you would think would do well on the podcast, the Doghouse, that you would? Can you hear me?
He's breaking up. Yeah. Three people that we could get on here that you would recommend us getting on here. I'll put you on the spot. I thought I sent you that, but I may not have.
Yeah. No, I didn't get that, but I'd have to think about that. Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
You can give it to us later.
We put you. Yeah. You can, if you think about it, shoot me a text. If not, I'll hit you up sometime when I see you again.
Okay, will do.
Coach, we appreciate your time. That'll do it this week. Episode 77 of the Doghouse. Thanks for listening. You are
Micah Harris.
Oh, Micah, you're there?
Micah Harris.
Yeah, I'm Matt Tanner. Thanks for listening. And we say it.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Thank you, Coach.